Konnichiwa minasan, Nihongo no gakusei desu. In this lesson, we are going to learn about the Japanese short forms of nouns, adjectives, and verbs. The Japanese language has different levels of politeness. We have the plain form, or the one that we use when we are talking to close ones like friends or family. We have the polite form when talking to strangers or to seniors. If you have heard the mas or des, those are polite form. And then we have kego, when you are exalting another person like professor, we use this kego form. Today we're going to talk only about the plain form, the ones that we use when we talk to our close ones. Now, since verbs and adjectives and nouns have conjugations, they also have plain form. Now look at this table. This is the present affirmative forms of the verbs, the I and na adjectives, and the noun. For the long form, we have, as we have learned already in the previous lessons, for verb, tabemas, the mas form for the verb, mas form, tabemas, eat, I eat, you eat, tabemas. For I adjective, kawaii desu, kawaii desu. It is cute or pretty. Shizuka desu, shizuka desu. Quiet, it is quiet. Gakusei desu. I am a student, we are a student. Now, these long forms, of course, have their short form counterpart. For the verb tabemas, the short form is taberu. Taberu is the dictionary form also. And this is the present short form affirmative. So when you talk to your friends, you do not use tabemas, instead use taberu. Restaurant de taberu. For the I adjective, kawaii desu, drop desu to make the I adjective a short form, kawaii. For the shizuka desu, remove desu and change it to da. Shizuka da. Shizuka da. That is the short form. For gakusei desu, gakusei da. Remove des and change it to da. Gakusei da. Those are the short forms. When talking to your friends, use short forms. Alright. For example, polite form. I will eat ramen at the restaurant later. You talk to your boss and you say, I will eat ramen at the restaurant later. Since it is your boss that you are talking to, you use tabemasu. Ato de restaurant de ramen no tabemasu. Okay? Now, when you are talking to your friend or your family, we use the dictionary form, taberu. Ato de restaurant de ramen no taberu. I will eat ramen at the restaurant later. It's the same with I adjective. Polite form, when you talk to your boss or strangers, Yuki-san wa kawaii desu. Yuki-san wa kawaii desu. Yuki is pretty. And casual form, remove desu. Yuki-san wa kawaii. Yuki-san wa kawaii. Yuki is pretty. For the na adjective, kono basho wa totemo shizuka desu. Kono basho wa totemo shizuka desu. This place is very quiet. Now, to make it casual form, kono basho wa totemo shizuka da. Kono basho wa totemo shizuka da. This place is very quiet. For the nouns, watashi tachi wa gakusei desu. Watashi tachi wa gakusei desu. This is when you say you talk to a stranger, for example. Now, for a casual form, when you are talking to your family or to your friends, say, watashi tachi wa mada gakusei da. Watashi tachi wa mada gakusei da. We are still students. Now, for the negative forms, Here we have, for example, the verb nomimasu. Nomimasen. Nomimasen. And its short form is nomanai. Nomanai. I will explain later. For the adjective, kawai kunai desu. Kawai kunai desu. We remove desu. Kawai kunai. Kawai kunai. Here, as you may have noticed, kawaii has two e at the end. And we remove the other e and then replace it with kunai. For e, good, e, we change the first e into yo and then say yokunai desu. Yokunai desu. And we remove des to make it short form. Yokunai. Yokunai. For the na adjective, shizuka janai desu. Shizuka janai desu. To make it short form, we remove des. Shizuka janai. Shizuka janai. For the noun, gakusei janai desu. Gakusei janai desu. Not students. We remove des, just like in na adjective, and we are left with gakusei janai. Gakusei janai. Same examples. When talking to your boss, for example, ato de restaurant de koi o nomimasen. This is the polite form, the mas form, masen. Ato de restaurant de koi o nomimasen. Casual form. Ato de restaurant de koi o nomanai. I will not drink coffee at the restaurant later. Use this nomanai when you are talking to friend or family. Ato de restaurant de koi o nomanai. Yuki is not pretty. Yuki-san wa kawaiku nai desu. Yuki-san wa kawaiku nai desu. For the casual form, when you talk to your friend or family, Yuki-san wa kawaiku nai. Just remove desu. Yuki-san wa kawaiku nai. For the na adjective, kono basho wa amari shizuka janai desu. Kono basho wa amari shizuka janai desu. This place is not very quiet. So, do you recognize we removed totemo and changed it to amari? Now, for the casual form, kono basho wa amari shizuka janai. We just drop des. Kono basho wa amari shizuka janai. This place is not very quiet. Polite form. Watashi tachi wa gakusei janai desu. We are not students. Watashi tachi wa gakusei janai desu. For the casual form, watashi tachi wa gakusei janai. Watashi tachi wa gakusei janai. We just drop des. We are not students. Alright, now this is how to change verbs into present negative casual forms. First, the ru verb. Here it is easy to change it to casual form. Negative, just remove ru and change to nai. These are some of the examples. Taberu becomes tabenai. Ru becomes nai. So don't eat. Miru, minai. Don't look, see, watch. Neru, nenai. Okiru, okinai. Don't get up. Kangaeru, kangaenai. Don't think. Oshieru, oshienai. Don't teach. Deru, denai. Don't come out. Kiru, kinai. Don't wear. Dekakeru, dekakenai. Don't go out. Akenai. Don't open. Shimeru, shimenai. Don't close. Wasureru, wasurenai. Don't forget. Oriru, orinai. Don't get off a bus or any transportation. Kariru, karinai. Don't borrow. Tsukeru, tsukenai. Don't turn on. Oboeru, oboenai. Don't remember. Hajimeru, hajimenai. Don't start. Kanjiru, kanjinai. Don't feel. Again, remove ru and change to nai for ru verbs. Now we will learn how to change u verbs into present negative casual form. Here we have the first u verb, hanasu, hanasu. Now, to change this into the negative casual, we retain the consonant S and change the vowel U into A. So again, we retain the consonant S here in hanasu and change the vowel from U to A. So what happens is hanasu, hanasa. And then we add nai, hanasanai, hanasanai. Don't speak, don't speak. Okay? Second verb, nomu, nomu. Again, retain the consonant M in nomu and change the vowel U into A. And it becomes noma. And then we add nai, nomanai, nomanai. Don't drink, nomanai. What about this one? Au, au. There is a different rule if the ending for u verbs is in u. Here in this case, we do not change the u into a as in the other cases of u verbs. Instead, we change u into wa. So what happens is awa, awa nai, awa nai. Don't meet, don't meet, or don't see a person, awa nai. Okay? Alright. Other examples, iku, iku, go, I go, he goes. Again, retain the consonant K and change the vowel U into A. And it becomes aka nai, aka nai, aka nai, aka nai. Don't go or doesn't go. Kiku, retain the K and then change the vowel U into A. Kiku, kikanai, kikanai. Yomu, yomu, change the vowel U into A. Retain the consonant M. Yomu, yomanai, yomanai. Don't read, yomanai. And again, if we recall, there are some Japanese verbs that end with ru, but are u verbs, like kaeru. Kaeru is an u verb. In this case, kaeru, we retain R and change the vowel U into A. Kaeranai, kaeranai. Don't return or doesn't return. Kaeranai. Kau, kau. And if we remember again, au, we don't change U into A. Instead, we change it to Wa. Kawanai, kawanai. Don't buy, doesn't buy. Kawanai. Kaku, kaku. Here becomes kakanai, kakanai. Kaku, kakanai. Matsu, to wait. Or I wait, he waits. Matsu. In this case, because it is tsu, we change it to t. In the hiragana ladder, we just go up to ta. So, matsu, matanai, matanai. Don't wait, matanai. Wakaru, wakaru. Here again, wakaru ends in ru, but is actually an u verb. So we retain R and change U into A. Wakaru, wakaranai. Wakaru, wakaranai. Doesn't understand or don't understand. Alright, for some other verbs, irregular verbs like suru. Suru becomes shinai. Don't do or doesn't do, shinai. These are irregular verbs because they have their own rules of conjugation. And if you remember, suru and shinai, their polite forms are shimasu and shimasen. Suru, shinai, polite form, shimasu, shimasen. Same with kuru, it has a different rule in conjugation. Kuru becomes konai. It does not become kinai or kanai, it becomes konai. And again, if you remember their polite form, kimas and kimasen. Come, comes, doesn't come, don't come. Kimas, kimasen. Kuru, konai. Now here, aru. Aru also has a different rule. So aru becomes nai. Nai. So here we totally change everything and it becomes nai. And if you remember their polite form, arimas and arimasen. Arimas, arimasen. For iru, iru is actually a ru verb. So we follow the rule for ru verb. And it becomes inai. Inai. There aren't. Okay. And their polite form is imas and imasen. Okay. It is much easier to remember the polite form, of course. Imas, imasen. Alright, some exercise. We're going to change this present affirmative casual form into present negative casual form. For example, kaku, kakanai, takai, takunai, expensive. Gakuseda, gakusejanai. Okay? So these are the words that we're going to change into the negative casual form. Negative present casual form. You may pause the video or you may continue watching for the answers. Okay? Alright. Alright, and the answers are number 1, miru, minai, minai. Don't see, doesn't watch, doesn't look. Sumu, sumanai, sumanai, don't live. Kuru, konai, konai, don't come, doesn't come. Arau, arawanai, arawanai, doesn't watch, do not wash, doesn't wash. Yumeida, yumeida, yume janai, not famous, yume janai. Ame ga furu, ame ga furu, ame ga furanai, ame ga furanai, doesn't rain. Isogashi, isogashikunai, isogashikunai. We remove the last I. Isogashikunai, not busy. Kawaii, kawaii kunai, not pretty. Mijikai, mijikai, mijikunai, short, not short. Mijikunai. Shinsetsu da, shinsetsu janai, not kind. Shinsetsu janai. Kirei da, clean, beautiful. Kirei janai, not clean, not beautiful. Kirei janai. Taihen da, difficult. Taihen janai, not difficult. Good. Yokunai, not good. Yokunai. Kakkoi, kakkoyokunai, not good looking. Kakkoyokunai. Sukida, I like. 好きだ。好きじゃない。I don't like. He doesn't like. 好きじゃない。